Cool. All right, Lynette, I have a question for you.
You have a question for
What
me?
can you remember? Yeah. What can you remember from the time in 2014 when we were working together? Because I cannot
You
remember
can't.
a lot.
Okay, so let
No,
me.
no, I was 18. I cannot remember anything.
I do remember a lot. I do remember a lot. But let me just quickly give context to a lot
Yeah.
of people that don't know the background to this interview. Even is because I do know Herman. I've known him since 2014. Was it 2014? It was way
No,
before
no, it's
then.
2024.
2004. Yeah,
Yeah,
I was working
yeah.
in Cape Town, and I was at a radio station, a national radio station, and I had developed various youth programs, and one of them was called ID. It referenced identity because as teenagers we always grappling with who are we? We in search of identity. How do we
Yeah.
define ourselves? What's the context to where we find ourselves within the family structure, etc., etc. But anyway, so a young man at that time, it was Herman, reached out to me because he loves music and he was very into rock music. So that's what I recall,
Yes.
that you were very
Yeah.
into rock music, and I
This
also
is true.
appreciated it. I appreciated the fact that you liked rock music. I appreciated the fact that I thought that you were my target audience, but you were interesting. It wasn't just
Yeah.
talking at someone, there was engagement. And I think that's one of the reasons why I invited you to onto the program and to become involved, because you had something to say, although I could also hear that you like kept to yourself, but you were a thinker, and I found it educational. I found it extremely stimulating. And I still remember, I don't know if you can recall, I had listened to her
Fun.
music, but you brought me an Avril Lavigne CD.
I cannot remember
You
that.
don't?
What I do
Yes.
remember, I remember your show at the band or the rap duo Carlets. I remember that was the theme song. I haven't listened to her music in a long time, but I think I'll check that again. It will bring a lot of memories. I really cannot remember. I know this happened, of course. I remember, and I remember my mom driving me to the show. But I cannot remember much. I was actually in Sea Point 2 months ago, and I was walking past the building, and I was like, "Oh yeah." But yeah, it's amazing that.
It was amazing for me because
Uh,
it's almost like validation, because obviously I was not a teenager, but I do
mm,
recall strongly my own teenage years. And for
uh,
me, having that engagement, you were almost like my pulse, you know? I could kind of just like check with
oh,
you.
that's good.
Is this really happening? And because of having that other ear on the ground, I think that's what contributed to the popularity of the show. I recall we had this huge event, and I got sponsors and schools. I
Nice.
invited some schools to attend this event. It was amazing. But then it does validate you. You
Uh,
kind of feel like, all right, job well done. And I want to quickly just say, this is why I'm so proud of you. Not because I had the insight to see that this man is gifted, but the fact that you've always been so open in sharing knowledge. And one of the things that I know you subscribe to, and which I also share, is the belief
mm,
that knowledge is powerful. It's how and what
mm.
you do with it. Because at the end of the day, we
Yeah.
want to enlighten, we want to build community, but we also want to engage people. And with
Mm.
knowledge and sharing of knowledge, you can really change a society, a community, a world,
Yeah.
because you're not gatekeeping at all.
Yeah, and it's tough. I mean, these days, specifically with information, like, you cannot trust all the information you get, and you make better information, better decisions with the right information, right? So, but just quickly back to that, like your show at tough topics. Like it was like I don't remember, it's like suicide and things like it was like it was hard topics, like, and I remember one thing that stuck with me for my life, and it's like one person called in. En hy sê in Afrikaans, dis die mees cyniese persoon of jong mens wat ek in 'n lang tyd gehoor het. And I was like, ek is nie cynies nie, ek is net realisties. And that has been stuck with me for a very long time.
But I'm
Like
glad that it made you kept, but the thing is, it's mixed, right? It's cynicism with realism. Want dit is hoe die lewe is.
Definitely.